Hi, I'm Dave Kallmann from the Journal Sentinel. I'm here talking about the Indianapolis 500 with three of the race starters who were nice enough to come into our office today. To my left, Ryan Hunter-Reay, Josef Newgarden in the middle, and Bryan Clauson over here on the right. All right, we're a couple days out from the Indy 500 and about a month out from Milwaukee Indy Fest. So three of the starters for this year's Indianapolis 500 were nice enough to come down and visit. I guess the police let them out, so their last stop. So let's chat a little bit about Indy, guys. We know sort of what to expect. We expect the Penske guys. We typically expect the Ganassi guys right up in the front. This year, a lot is different. New car and all that stuff. Some surprises. Tell me something that's going to surprise me about this one.
I think that just the new car in general is going to surprise a lot of people. It reacts, I think, a lot differently than the previous car. Ryan knows a lot more about it from previous years, but even me as a rookie, I can tell just by watching them in years past, this car is going to be a lot different in the racing, I think.
Different how?
Well, I'll even let Ryan explain a little bit more, but I think just the drag difference between the cars is pretty significant.
Yeah, absolutely. The drafting effect is huge in this car compared to the last. We're picking up a toe, picking up a draft from further back, and once you get closer to the car in front, it's much more effective. You really pull up on the car. So I think there's going to be a lot more passing this year's 500, and it's going to be interesting to see how the car's balance goes off through the race with the heat and everything. And as for the Milwaukee Mile, we have yet to see what it's going to do on a short track. So there's a lot in store there as well. Yeah,
that's a place that you haven't, the one style of track you guys haven't been on, and you've been there in a really good car, and you've crashed a really bad car there, as I recall.
Hey, thank you.
Only guy to lead flag to flag though in an IndyCar race there. Just totally an unknown.
Yeah, it's a pretty big unknown. My teammates tested at Iowa, where it's a short track but with huge banking, and the reason why the IndyCar drivers respect Milwaukee so much is because it is extremely difficult. There's not a lot of banking there. Has a lot of history to it. It is a really challenging track, and I think that we'll get some surprises from this car there, but it's going to be in a good way. We have different manufacturers going head-to-head, and it's a new turbocharged engines. It's a new sound, and I think it's going to be a great show. So all around, Indy, Milwaukee, I think they're both going to be great.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing over the first three events really is all these places you go to. They're going to be nobody really knows what to expect with Indianapolis, then the mile and a half at Texas, and then Milwaukee. They're all going to be the first time with this car on these types of tracks, so nobody really knows. Indy, we have a decent read on having a week long of practice and things like that, but even race conditions are always a little bit different. Everybody moves over a little bit in practice when you get to the corner, and race condition things seem to tighten up a little bit. So it'll be interesting to see how it all fans out.
You had the unfortunate, I think, of being the first guy to actually really test the crashability of these cars.
They crash real good. They hit it just as hard as the other ones, but no, physically and that I feel fine. They did a great job. As far as with the hit that I took, the car did a great job taking a lot of the hit, and I really felt great considering the hit I took the next morning, and was able to climb in yesterday and have a full day of practice and bump into the field. So it was a big lick, but physically in that I feel fine. So I think that it was a good sign, and it seems that everybody that tested it out on qualifying day kind of felt the same way.
Was that something you guys were interested in? Not that you ever want to see anyone crash. Not you want to be that guy.
No problem, guys. I got
who crashes, but yeah, Bryan took care of it a little bit. But was that something you guys were kind of curious about? What's going to happen when somebody hits the wall? Is it going to behave differently? Is it going to come through it pretty well?
I think we were curious, yeah, but no one wants to see anyone have a hit. We would have liked for it to take a year or two before we ever saw someone hit the wall, but that's unrealistic. Things are going to happen. Wrecks have already taken place, obviously, earlier in the year, much milder on road and street courses, but sure, that's the whole concept of the new car. We wanted to make the new car was supposed to be a lot safer. It's supposed to be more high tech. It's supposed to be quicker, more downforce. There's a lot of different elements that they were looking to do, and safety was one of the biggest parts of them. So everyone was curious what it was going to be like. And I think the initial prognosis is still a little bit in search right now. We're still looking at what and how the car is reacting. You haven't seen every scenario for every hit that this car can go through, really, but I think initially it looks okay. There's definitely some things that are still unknown, but obviously these guys have felt fine after having some big hits, so that's a good sign, really, for the start of it.
Ryan, anything else I'm not thinking of? What am I missing? Tell me something that's really going to that when race day rolls around, you're going to go, that's it. That's the new thing. That's what we.
Well, as for the safety side, we'll be learning about and perfecting this car for years to come. I mean, it is a learning process. It's a development, and that's how it is with any race car. But as for race day, I mean, the key is going to be downforce and what downforce you pick. It's going to be a roll of the dice. That's the hardest thing about Indy, is sitting there with your engineer the morning of the race. It doesn't matter how good you were on carb day. That's 9 a.m. in the morning, 10 a.m. in the morning. Car feels great. Everything feels awesome. You feel like you're 100%. And then you get out there and you're thinking before you go out for race day, it's hot. There's the humidity. Even if it's not, it feels it's that much hotter. And you're going to be in a lot of traffic. So you've got to get that. You got to get that decision right, and that's going to be the key, because you've got to balance it for the end of these runs on these tires. These Firestone tires are excellent, and then they're designed to fall off so that we have good racing. And you're going to need that downforce towards the end, but in the beginning you don't want it. You don't want the downforce. You want to just head to the front. And you need the balance though, and you're going to have to be really smart about picking what's right. So that's how it is for Indy every year, though.
Yeah, you don't have far to get to the front either. So
well, if you stay up there, it's a really easy decision. Right. If you have one bad stop, or if you make a mistake on track, just anything throws your race out of line a little bit, you can find yourself 20th having to pick your way through the field. And at that point, you better, if you've gone light thinking you're going to be at the front, it's going to be a long day.
Be surprised, yeah. All right, this is the all-important one. Where are you going to be on Sunday? Sunday afternoon, end of the day. Where are you going to be?
Well, it's a 500-mile race, and one thing's for sure about Indy is you have to respect it. It'll bite you the second you think you're on top of it or you figured it out. It'll come right back up and smack you in the back of the head. So you got to take your time, learn what it brings you, and I think that you have to have a good team behind you.
Which you do?
Yep, absolutely, with a good strategy. You just have to go out there and give it your all, and make sure you drive a smart race, and the pit crew guys have to be on it. But it's Indy 500, anything can happen. That's the beautiful thing about it.
Yeah, I got to put you on the spot, though. Anything less than what? Top 5 is disappointing. Top 3, anything less than drinking milk?
With the race car that we have and the speed that we have in it, I think not winning is a disappointment for sure. It's my 5th year. I've felt how good race cars feel around here, and I definitely have the best one right now under me. And you always feel like at Indy, if you do get a good balance and you do get a good race car, that you're never going to have one like that again. So you want to take advantage of it. So yeah, absolutely, winning is definitely the goal, and I don't think I'll be satisfied with anything else.
And Brian,
our Sunday afternoon, we're in a little bit different situation after the qualifying wreck. We were talking at lunch. Ryan was trying to explain to me how that start feels, being back towards the back, and what I'm going to be going through for the start of the race. So we're looking to have a clean day. Really, it's first Indy 500. If we can get to the last stint on the lead lap, you never know really what can pan out. I've been going to Indy and watching Indy and growing up around Indianapolis. So been to a lot of the races as a kid, and it seems like if you can get to that last stint on the lead lap, there's always somebody that comes within a lap or two of pulling it off that probably shouldn't have. So that's the goal, is to get to that last stint and see where we're at, and who knows what can happen from there. But our Sarah Fisher Hartman Racing cars, both of our cars have been really strong all month, and hated to have that crash. So we were able to get back yesterday and work on it a little bit, and I feel confident going into the race that we're going to have a good balance. It's just going to be a matter of how things play out. Starting that far back, you can get caught up in some trouble and things like that. So we're just going to have to be smart and run our race and be there at the end, I think.
And you, young man?
Well, I can tell you, last time this team's had Dollar General on the car, they won the race. That was last year in Kentucky, Sarah Fisher Hartman Racing. So I'm feeling a little bit of pressure on my shoulders, I got a beautiful race car on the track. It's fast. It's been quick all week. You know, we had a good qualifying effort. Definitely a strong showing for our team, really. We've shown a lot of presence on the top of the timesheets, and I think we've done a phenomenal job just working through our program, trying to control everything that's in our hands. So we're gonna be fighting to the very end. I think the biggest thing about this race is you have to be there at the end. You know, it's true for every race you run, and you got to finish the race. You got to be there at the end to fight for a victory, but I think it's particularly true about Indy. You know, like Bryan said, he said it perfectly. You know, every year it seems like with a couple laps to go, there's always someone lurking there that you never thought would win that thing. So
yeah, so be there, be in that mix.
You got to be in the mix. You know, if you're not in contention, then or you're not in the lead lap at the last 10 laps of the race, then how are you going to have a shot at winning the thing, really? So that's what it's all about: keeping it clean, making it to the last part of that on the lead lap, and then maybe you'll have a shot at it.
All right, cool. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Right on.